What is up, y'all? We're back at it again with another video, and what we're going to be looking at is kind of a, I don't want to say, let's just say, gimmicky video of, swim exercise. Some of the stuff that doesn't make any sense to me, we're going to talk about it. A little bit of a Rocktober response, even though it's almost over. Congratulations to y'all who have made it through, but I'm going to, especially you freshmen, I want to make sure that you know this. There is a Rocktober 31st, a 32nd, a 33rd, a 34th, a 35th. So don't think just because you made it through October that you're in green pastures. The pain train knows no breaks. Okay, and then the final one, we're going to look at Kirk Sangetti. If you don't know who that is, he is the head coach at Indiana football, and it's kind of his comments on culture. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So from chaos to control, I'm not sure what chaos he's coming from. Building neural patterns for effortless velocity and moving efficiently through the water. Try this your next workout. So I think this is great for, your 10 and unders. I don't really get the purpose of stuff like this. Actually, no, I do. Okay, here's what I get. This is the stuff you have to do when you don't play sports. For real. Right, when you can't go pick up a basketball and go do something explosive and athletic and linear or multilinear. Like why? Like I want to think about if it was me, I'd much rather spend my time watching film and learning than if I was still swimming and in practice doing this. Like doing a turn in the middle of the pool is not going to already help my best turns in the NCAA flip turns. Dax, how can you say that? There's strength, power, explosiveness reasons, but then I had the footwork. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know about that because y'all don't play basketball, which coincidentally is kind of my whole point on this. Real good for your younger swimmers, because they need the motor skill work. This kind of actually brings me to another point, right? Swimfluencers. Somebody once said, if you're an influencer, what are you influencing and who are you influencing? Or what are you influencing people to do and who are you influencing? Right? So this goes into, we're about to go on soapbox real quick, right? Like streamers, right? Ideally, you want to provide a service, right? Now, the service they're providing is entertainment. Now, the issue is, so you think about like an NBA player, right? With the entertainment they provide, and then you have the streaming, which is, we're just going to say neurologically, it all connects to the same dopamine hitters. Streamers are probably a little bit more addictive. And my issue with this is that the money from streamers comes, obviously advertisers, but it comes from people subscribing, right? And they're not getting anything in return. So it's just bad business off rip, right? Whereas with the NBA, it's technically a free product, right? Now, they make deals with advertisers, with TV, with broadcasters, right? And that's what makes a business where they can then pay the athlete. It's not the same case with streamers, right? Where it's a free product and then they go out and make deals with stream providers, right? Obviously, there is some case like that, like a YouTube, where you get paid per views, and I'm sure there's I don't know much about streaming, but I do know money, right? So there's some amount of view money that comes in, but subscribers or membership in YouTube's case is where the money's at, and basically you're paying for something that doesn't help you at all. Right. And to me, this is where this is my moral hill. I'm not, obviously people can do what they want when it comes to entertainment, But it's like, if I was starting a business, like in my case of Rakely, right? Like I'm providing a service and people pay and they get something in return, right? That it can help them. And if they really think about it and think it through, it can help them make the money back that they're spending on it and then some, well more and then some, right? So it just never set right with me. And this brings me into the swimfluencer stuff, right? Where, like, what are you getting paid to do? What service, like, obviously, like I said, people cannot care about providing a service and the people that are watching them and just, raking the money. But to me, it's like, I don't know, I feel bad when I just, like, I'm not providing something in return. Now, you don't have to buy it, that's different. But, I'm going to get paid because you're going to get something that's going to help you in life. So, I don't know, that's my soapbox. All right. Sorry, Coach Yavi. Got you looking kind of crazy right now.
To recover. You're drowning in your turn, and coach just kicked the intensity up. And you're just racing every weekend. Add a little bit of social life to that combo. The reality is you're trying to crush all three elements. Academics, swimming, social life. The reality is you're going to crash. Your priorities this month will decide your performance in March and February. Seriously, pick two. Academic, swimming, social life. You decide. But for real, watch this in March and you'll be proud of your decisions you made. You'll be fine. I promise. You got this. Welcome.
I'm not mad at that at all. He said pick two. I don't know if you student athletes out there know this, but yeah, you don't get to be good. You don't get to be a rock star at all three. I tried it. Grades definitely slipped. But that also is because I wasn't a schoolboy type person either. But, nonetheless. Was, living the social life stuff. And that, to a degree, means I'm getting less sleep, right? Which means less recovery. And then, I'm now working out with less recovery, which just puts me in a moral hole. So all three things collapse, right? Usually in college, as a student athlete, you got to do pick two of them. And really, two of them are already made up for you, right? Because you're there on a scholarship. And you have to have good grades to swim. So they're decided for you. Now, some people suck, so they ain't got to worry about the swimming part. They can go be the social rock star and just, make it through swimming. But, yeah, in general, you need to pick two. And regarding October, it's kind of funny story. I didn't find out I had allergies until after I was done swimming, right? So every year it would get worse, but my freshman year, I remember we're in Rocktober, and I could feel my throat like tightening up, right? Like it was getting harder to breathe. And I identified my junior year as it felt like I was breathing through a straw, right? Now I'm just thinking it's because my body's getting so tired, like I'm beating it up. And, 2 years after I finished swimming, go pro for a year and then I'm done, I realized that I'm getting like sniffles and like my nose is running, like my nose runs really bad. Like today has been a nightmare. But yeah, my nose is running. It's not hard to breathe, but it's noticeable. Breathing is noticeably different. And I'm just like, it was a total change from the rest of my year. And that's when I was like, I think I have allergies. So basically, my entire swimming career, at least collegiate and pro, I had allergies to the point where my throat was closing up, and I didn't even know it. That's what was going on. So like, it's funny. Like I'll talk about like toughness and stuff and whatever. Like I don't know anybody that hardcore. Do you? Oh wow, there's a cup holder right here. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's get into this next video.
Standards can never be compromised, and there has to be accountability throughout the entire organization, coaches and players. But 95% of it really is between the years, and it's a daily process. You just stack good days. We've really come a long way. I don't think as a coach you're ever pleased. Can't be. And we're not there yet. Everything we do, we have high standards and expectations, and the standards can never be compromised, and there has to be accountability throughout the entire organization, coaches and players.
Okay, that was quick. So basically, this guy's from Coach Saban's coaching tree. He left and went and coached, I think it was Division III, James Madison. I'm not sure if that's Division III or Division II. Then Indiana's obviously been the butthole of the Big Ten in terms of football. And he is, I actually took a recruiting trip there. Shout out to Indiana. they really wanted me to walk on. I got to go tour the basketball facility with then head coach Tom Crean. I have the email. I'll show y'all one day so y'all can know that I was really about that life. Real hooper, okay? I wasn't out here just joking around like these people who think swimmers are dual sport athletes. I was yamming, okay? Shutting down 3 and 4 star recruits when I didn't even know nothing about basketball, really, which is kind of embarrassing, but whatever. But anyway, so Kirk Getty, right? He talks about how the cultures and how quick did he do it, right? So I think I saw this other reel where it was like in the first like 48 hours or 24 hours that he was there, 36 hours, he basically went up to the athletic director and he's like, I don't like any of this. Like, we got to shut it down. Like, he basically said, like, y'all are garbage. We're going to change this. And that's pretty much how he got the job, right? 1 minute conversation. Now he's, just had another 1 minute conversation. Now he's going to be making 11.8 mil. So shout out to Kurt. But on the culture, so like I have been, I don't know, unfortunate or fortunate enough to have been in situations where I've had athletes who had the talent and the ability, maybe not like the motor skill control or the strength component from playing outside, but had enough potential to be AAA swimmers, right? Who were, B and BB swimmers. And the first thing I'd say, okay, there's that, but then I'd say in one instance, I got to work with a group of high schoolers who were sectional and junior national level, right? And the first thing I make sure, and I'm militant in my approach. Now, I don't mean like punishment wise, but I mean like, we're going to do it this way, step 1, step 2, step 1B, step 2B, and if you skip a step, we're going to halt everything and make sure we get it right until we move on, or we won't move on at all. Like that type of militant. And I do it, and obviously I have, my glowing personality that I use to, charm the kids and keep them laughing and having a good time and honesty with parents. But the first thing I do as quickly as possible is you overhaul everything, right? And the reason why I say that is in swimming, one thing I learned is that people will get a head start out on you, but they always come back. They always come back. Right? You got it. So you can let them get ahead. Be the person who takes 1 step forward at a time while they're going 3 forward, 2 back, 3 forward, 2 back. Right now, 3 forward, 2 back is 5 steps. That's a lot of work for 1 step, but they feel like they're doing a lot. Right? We're going to be 1 step forward, 1 step forward, 1 step forward, much more efficient. And that efficiency adds up, especially when you put a constraint on how many steps you get. Right? Now we're going to outlast them. And eventually once that fatigue or that constraint starts hitting them, we're blowing right by them. Okay? And I've used that in every avenue of my life. Like I said in another video, swimming is the best teacher of life, and delayed gratification makes the world go round. The longer you can be uncomfortable and the bigger you can be uncomfortable and embarrass yourself and deal with it the longest, I always say be willing to go further than the person next to you. And I'm willing to go the furthest, is how you win. It's how you become a champion. And wow, I totally went off base right there. But with this culture thing, we're not doing this no more. I don't like what I set it up. It can get kind of negative too. It usually is, because it's like we're doing all this stuff that's not helping us. We're not doing it anymore. It's done. It ain't no negotiation. I'm the coach. You're the kids. I ain't about to bow down to no smooth brain 3rd grader. Nah, dog. It's my way or the highway. Okay. And I communicate this to parents, right? I remember one time I had a meeting with the parents after a practice, and I set it up. I was like, look, I've been in the situation before. Kids who have had this standard, usually by the end of a year, we get them going this fast, but we're going to be taking it in a step-by-step practice or step-by-step. We're not going to skip steps. Your kid's going to learn delayed gratification. They're going to learn how to be detailed. They're going to learn how to be mentally engaged and stimulated. And it's through that we're going to accomplish this goal. And I was like, I always say this is one of my favorite things, and I'm an over communicator. I don't like leaving details out, but one of my favorite things to let parents know is if your kid gets in trouble, they earned it. Okay. I never get on a kid, one time, two times in a row, just because they might be having a bad day, might have just been an honest mistake. But usually by the time the kid gets in trouble, they've done it enough for it to be like a thing. And it's like, nah, we ain't doing this, right? And I'm talking about like getting in trouble, not making mistakes in practice, right? But the number one thing that the kids have to engage in is it's not hard work. It's working hard on being mentally present over what we're addressing. And I actually want to put a video out on this. I probably will, but all right, with the Rakely Technique Solutions library, I know with the club fundamentals that you can, no matter what age group they can go with that stuff, just the fundamental stuff. So we're not even talking about the college needs, but the kid need to be able to train strokes in college, to perform at a high level in college. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about just the fundamentals to look like a swimmer, right? My fundamentals, the Rakely fundamentals, they can go BB to AA times. Just showing up to practice, getting better, right? So usually what we would do in all the flips, right? Because it's like, that's why I say the mental side, right? Like you need to pay attention and think about what you're doing, because if you do and you just show up to practice and get these skills down, you're going to go BB time. And if you go BB time, all we got to do now is either throw in some yards or just add a day of training. Now you're a AA swimmer. So it's like the number one rule is like you have to be mentally present. You have to be mentally engaged. You have to be working hard on being mentally engaged. That is the I'd say maybe my only non-negotiable. Because if you're thinking about that, you're usually not playing around. You're usually not distracting others. Obviously I got my tricks like every coach does to, make kids feel good about themselves when they're doing something good, make sure that it's highlighted. But yeah, when you're changing a culture, you got to come in there with a battle axe and just kill everything. Like you can't leave nothing untended, and set your standard, make sure they have to agree to it. Right. And that's why I usually like the time standard thing. I was like, look, we can go AA times for sure. Right. But this is what it's going to take. Do we agree on this? And they're usually going to agree on it because they're kids and they don't know what they don't know. So they're going to do what the adult says. But you got to get their compliance. You have to have them agree to, because when they agree to that, they're agreeing to be held accountable. And you will be shocked. I mean, maybe you won't if you're really into like human behavior, but like kids want to be like, they want boundaries. They want controlled. They want to have a direction, a task. They want to have a clear goal in sight and know how to get to it. Like in our case, it's just do the technique stuff. That's it. Show up, do the technique. We're good, right? Be mentally engaged. And they want to believe in their coach, right? So that means the coach has got to deliver. So that's what I have to say about the culture stuff. You got to go in there, battle axe. You got to be a man, a congruent person of what you believe in and what you say to them, and then you need to deliver it. And if you can do that, you're going to have no problems. So thanks for watching, guys. If you can, leave a like. Make sure you drop a comment. Let me know what you think of these videos. Let me know what you think about changing your culture. Do you do it gradually, or do you come in like I do with a nuclear weapon and just blow up everything and then start from the ground up? Let me know what you think about Rocktober. But anyways, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I'm uploading a video. Like I said, subscribe, comment, share. Peace.